Remember, if you want to support me on Patreon, the link will be in the description below. Yeah, I can admit when I'm wrong. And I didn't think that the Beast Titan would come back inside the walls that quickly.
Yeah.
But then again, I thought that was a bit unrealistic. Maybe it's because I didn't think it would happen. But it was literally within the next panel, they were back.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Do you know what I mean? It was
yeah. Well, it kind of goes back to what we discussed on the podcast when we don't know the time frame between when the stuff in the wall is happening outside. So I guess it happens that it lined up where Zeke was literally running away just as Armin was getting burnt to a little fried crisp.
But to be honest, I don't think that even that would make sense, because how long did that horse charge take? And they didn't even get to the Beast Titan with do you know that suicide charge that they did?
Yeah.
They were covering some big distance. I just thought that with distance, but I don't mind. I like the end result that we got.
If you want to talk about unrealistic, two things that actually there were a couple of things in chapter 83 that I didn't talk about that I thought were unrealistic. Actually, two of them I did talk about, and I'll just talk about them again, but a third I didn't really mention. One, how is Zeke staying on side that Titan? He's right, like that Titan's jumping from building to building. How is Zeke staying on top of that Titan? He has no arm. He has no arm. Yeah, he was on top.
I thought he was in the mouth.
He was. He got scooped up in the mouth in chapter 81. And then the next time we see him in chapter 83, he's sitting on his neck.
I'm going to have to check that.
Yeah. It's like, A, how did he climb up onto his neck? Because he has no arms. And B, how's he staying up there? He's got no reins to hang on to. It makes no sense.
Unless he managed to regenerate something or...
No, but you look at him and his arms are still gone. So it's like willing suspension of disbelief, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Second, that soldier who was the lone survivor of the suicide charge.
I called that.
It was obvious to see that he was going to be the one to find Erwin. I thought he was going to like meet up with him on the battlefield and then Erwin was going to die there, but that's not how it ended up going. But he catches up with Levi with Erwin on his back and says, "Oh, Hecho, by the way, here I am. I've got Erwin.
Convenience. I'm here."
Exactly. How did he catch up? All the horses probably died in the attack. What did he walk from the battlefield all the way to the walls and then just so happen to catch up with Levi? Like
no, but he walked. Imagine how far Erwin got before he got shot down.
Yeah,
he dragged Erwin that far back on foot.
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, granted, Erwin was one of the first to fall, so that's less distance he would have had to have walked, but still, he literally would have had to have walked. There was nothing to anchor onto with 3DMG. All the horses were dead. Erwin is dead weight that he's carrying. It just doesn't, again, like you said, plot convenience, but whatever. It happened. He's there. It doesn't matter how he got there. All that matters is that he got there. Maybe he's a Titan.
Yeah, and he managed to transform without anyone noticing.
Maybe he's a Titan. He transformed. I mean, Ymir did it, right? Once when in that flashback with Historia, Ymir, and Daz in the snowstorm, they're trying to get to the bottom of that hill and they're all going to die. And Ymir's like, just go, I'll do it. And then she gets down really fast and Historia's like, how'd you get down really fast? Well, she was a Titan, that's how. How did this guy get inside the wall so fast? Maybe he's a Titan.
Yeah, is that the same with Levi? How Levi caught up? He's just a Titan.
Levi had like a whole bunch of Titans to anchor onto, so at least he has an excuse to be able to use his 3D maneuver gear. But this guy, no excuse. There's no way he could have caught up. He's confirmed as a Titan. Titan confirmed.
Titan confirmed. You're calling it now, and you're probably going to be right. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, it's so far-fetched, but the thing is that the far-fetched things are the things that happen in this series. That's the thing about Attack on Titan, is the most out there, insane ideas you can think of usually end up being the true ones.
Yeah, but going off what you're saying, maybe that's the reason he was the only survivor. Because he could regenerate.
Maybe. Like, he could have gotten hit, and then, I mean, he can, like...
He fell off his horse.
Yeah, exactly. He fell off his horse, but... Bertolt and Reiner, they're getting amputated, they're getting arms and legs cut off, they're getting swords shoved in their necks, so Titan shifting abilities, they give you regenerative powers, but they probably give you increased stamina too, because there's no way normal people can like sustain all of this and still be alive. So maybe this guy got injured, but he could like sustain his life because he's a Titan shifter. I mean, yeah. I do not actually believe what I'm saying here. I'm just joking around. But how ridiculous would it be if this ended up to be true?
Oh, if you were right, and now you've made me believe now. You've convinced me that he's a Titan shifter now. So I'm agreeing with you because I hope this long shot pays off.
We'll see.
And he is actually a Titan shifter in the end.
Only time will tell whether I'm right or not.
But really think about it. No one survived. Not one horse.
Yeah.
Just him.
Yeah. And I mean, okay, but to be fair, when it cuts to him, you see him saying like, how did I survive? Like, how did I survive? If he was really a Titan shifter, he wouldn't be thinking that because he would know full well how he survived.
Yeah.
But whatever. it would be, I would laugh so hard if it turned out that he was.
He just didn't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he didn't know he was a Titan shifter. Is that, well, that is possible. Aaron was a Titan shifter and he didn't know, so it's possible that guy could be one too. Who knows?
Yeah, he has flashbacks of his dad.
But then a third thing that didn't really make sense to me in this chapter that I never really talked about was the fact that it gave you that whole flashback, right? When Erwin was talking to the Survey Corps saying like, this is the serum, it can transform you into a Titan.
Yeah.
If you manage to capture one of the shifters, you can use this to bring someone who's gravely injured and turn them into a Titan and then make them a shifter. And then all of a sudden, everyone in this chapter is like, oh, quick, give me the serum. Oh, quick, give me the serum. Whereas before, in like all the chapters leading up to this, none of the characters ever really gave any kind of inclination that they knew about the serum. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was that big speech about the serum.
No, I know, but that was in a flashback.
Yeah, they didn't reveal that before. It was only in that chapter.
And so what I'm saying is that when you read chapter, like I don't remember what chapter it is exactly that they started out back to Shiganshina. Let's just say it was chapter 77. From chapter 77 to chapter 82, none of the characters act like they know the serum exists. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do agree, yeah.
Like, none of them ever give any clue that they're thinking... Like, when Erwin tells them, oh, we're going on a suicide charge. You're telling me not one of those soldiers... not one of those soldiers ever brought up, oh, well... if one of us gets injured, Levi can heal us, right? Not one of them said that. So I just assumed they just didn't know about the serum. And then we're getting this flashback that tells us that they do know about it. And I'm thinking to myself, well, hold on. They've always acted like they never knew about it. So now I'm supposed to believe that they did. And now all of a sudden everyone's asking for it because they're like, oh, give me the serum. Oh, give me the serum.
I just don't think it would come up in conversation.
Yeah, and then on thinking about it again, you're right, I agree with you. That's what I thought too, is that there was no natural point in which it could come up. And also, the only way it can work anyway is if they captured a shifter. And at that point, they had not at any point captured one, you're right. So there would have been no need for it to come up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just thought it was kind of... That one moment with the suicide charge, I find it implausible that not one soldier said, but if one of us gets gravely injured, we can get that serum, right? None of them ever mentioned that.
Well, maybe they thought that they weren't good enough for it, or maybe, I don't know.
Maybe they thought they were just going to actually like just die right off the bat and not get gravely injured.
Yeah, maybe they thought that, I don't know, that it was reserved for main characters.
Well, I mean, it is really. We're not gonna resurrect Marlowe with the serum.
Can you imagine?
I'm imagining Aaron's Titan, only instead of Aaron's like shaggy hair, it's just a bowl cut.
That'd be so great.
Yeah, I have to Photoshop that image now. I just have to do it.
Well, Aaron with a giant bald cut. Yeah, exactly. A bowl cut.
And it'll be Marlowe's Titan. Yep.
But what do you think about something that I thought was quite overlooked in the chapter was like Aaron's dad looking a lot like Zeke.
Yeah.
Possibly family members, uncle possibly.
Definitely a family member, without a doubt. Like there's no way that they're gonna put Zeke and Grisha side by side like that and it look that similar and then not be related in some way.
But what I've got a really good theory for that. And when he was saying that he was going to save him, and I think, and this is what I hope happens, that they actually, and we get onto the big issue about who would you choose, because I know who you're going to choose, but if they did choose Erwin, that would give Erin some resentment for, you know, the other people in the Survey Corps, and it might lead him down that road of going with Zeke, and then hopefully we can find some things about Zeke and the village.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I hadn't considered that. I like that. Yeah. Levi ultimately chooses Erwin. He hates Levi. He turns away from the Survey Corps. He becomes disillusioned, and he goes, I wonder what that Zeke guy had to say. So he runs off on his own. I like that idea.
Or it doesn't. No, I wouldn't say he would just run off, but maybe he has that little bit of resentment, and then their next encounter, he goes with them, or he betrays the Survey Corps and goes with them.
Yeah. I like that idea, actually. I like that a lot. I don't like where it leads in terms of who lives and who dies vis-a-vis Armin versus Erwin, but I do like that theory. That is a good one. And yeah, whether, I mean, you already, like you said, you already know what my answer is going to be.
Yeah. Before we go into that, very quickly, do you think, because a lot of people have thought about this and I've looked around the internet and a lot of people were saying that there might possibly, for some reason, sorry, just cutting off quickly, on my Camtasia, it moves the volume up and down.
That's weird.
By itself. And at the moment, it keeps moving it down, now up a bit, now down, and then it just goes off completely.
That's weird.
Is there any way to turn that off? Like the auto...
I've never had that problem, to be honest, so if there is a way, I have no idea what it is.
For fuck's sake. Anyway, right, going on to the issue of I'm just going to... If I cut off, I'm just going to have to drag it back up is what I keep doing.
Yeah, that's fine.
What do you think... Sorry, no. Do you think there's going to be a battle between Erin, Mikasa and Levi?
Yeah, see...
Because Levi's weakened, so it would be fair game in a battle between him and Mikasa.
I mean, how long would this battle last? You know what I mean? Like, a battle with a Titan versus a human with 3DMG, you can draw that out because the Titan's swinging around and you're like moving around every which way trying to get a good shot. But they're on a rooftop. They're in a small space. They're two humans. They're both pretty tired. They're both pretty injured. They have nothing but dull blades. How long is this confrontation really going to last if it comes to that? You know what I mean?
It will be just a snatch and grab, won't it? To try and snatch it, fist fight probably, if they haven't got anything.
Do you really think Levi's going to let Mikasa just snatch and grab it? Like...
No, but what I mean is she's going to try, and that will make the confrontation happen.
See, what I thought was going to happen was similar to what you're saying. They would try and go for a snatch and grab. Levi would obviously, even though he is weakened and tired, he would still be pretty sharp, and he would like try and avoid it. But then, in the kerfuffle, the Titan Serum would fall out of his hands, fall off the roof and break, and then nobody gets it.
What I really hope is there's some sort of third option, and some like sub character takes the serum and gives it to someone who's like nearly dead. Do you know, someone else?
Yeah, but who else is almost dead that needs it though?
I didn't really see how Sasha was.
Yeah, and they made a point of saying that she was injured but not critically injured, so they were letting you know right there in that sentence, yeah, she's hurt, but she'll live. So
we're not picking her. Yeah,
exactly. And also, just to let all the little fans of Sasha know, don't worry, Potato Girl's still around. She's not gone. She's still here.
Good for you, yeah.
But, no, I mean, it's either going to be nobody gets it, or it's going to be... Well, I mean, it's either going to be nobody gets it, or it's going to be one of them get it. But those are the only options they could be. So that was completely pointless to even say. Or I want to be, there's a fourth option in that they both get. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Why do you need to have a full
syringe
injection to be able to do it? I mean, when Rod Reese turned into a Titan, he just licked up like a little bit of it and he still turned into a Titan.
Yeah, and what I don't understand is, have they not even tried to like duplicate this. Now that they've done the complete takeover, they have all the scientific minds. I know there's not going to be many because of them hindering progress and all of that, but there must be some people who know something about science. Get that in a lab, get it duplicated before you do anything.
Yeah, and so this is where my knowledge of the manga actually really comes in handy, my photographic memory, because, yeah, it's not really photographic because I don't remember the exact chapter, but I do remember when Hanji, Levi, Erwin, and like senior Survey Corps members, they're talking to each other in a room about the serum, and Hanji says that as soon as they try and study it, as soon as it hits the air, it evaporates, so there's like no way they can study it.
Yeah, it just seems like such a cop-out.
Yeah,
to like, this is the holy water and you can't duplicate it in any way.
It is, but then at the same time, at least it makes it so that it's not the complete opposite way where it's like, oh, we'll just duplicate it, then everyone can
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
You know? So, yeah, it's kind of a cop-out, but
even if they did duplicate it so everyone had it, you'd have to find a Titan shifter to use it on.
Yeah, I mean, technically you wouldn't. You could still turn them into Titans. Then they'd just be Titans, and you'd have to either watch out for them or kill them, so it'd be counterproductive. But if you wanted to turn them back to humans, yeah, you need a Titan shifter.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, either way, it doesn't matter because they have no way of duplicating the serum.
Yeah, true. Right, should we get on to the main issue?
Which is what?
Which I know you're dying to talk about.
Yeah.
And I'd just like to start by saying I've read quite a lot of my comments now. I was just replying to them just before we started this. And looking through, it looks like it's pretty much a landslide. I knew it would be. I've also done on my video a YouTube polls just to see who people would pick between the two. Mm. I'm just going to quickly show you what it currently. I'm just quickly going to tell you what it currently is, because obviously
I can hazard a guess already. But yeah, you go ahead and tell me.
Right, there are 46 people who have responded to this.
Yeah.
How many do you think voted for Erwin, and how much do you think voted for Armin? And bear in mind, my video endorses Erwin.
I want to say that it is.
Are you looking on the computer now?
No. I'm hazarding a guess here. You said 46, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna say that 12 people said Erwin, the rest said Armin.
8 people said Erwin. 38 are going with Armin.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a critical decision for me, and it's making me feel like if they pick Armin, I'm gonna hate Attack on Titan a bit more.
Now really, is that true though? Are you really gonna hate it though? Be honest.
I'll be resentful. I really will be.
I mean, Aaron will be resentful if Levi picks Erwin, so no matter what happens, somebody's gonna be resentful.
Oh, of course, yeah. And I'm just glad at the moment Levi's got the serum.
Yeah, I mean, okay, you want my answer to the whole Armin versus Erwin debate that will no doubt go down in history for all of 1 month until we figure out who it actually goes to?
Yeah, go.
All right. I think that giving the serum to Erwin makes more sense. Levi brings up an excellent point when he says, I'm choosing to keep alive the man who will save humanity.
Yeah.
And that's his justification for giving it to Erwin. And I agree with that line. Out of Armin and Erwin, Erwin would definitely bring humanity the way it is now closer to a victory against the Titans. However, as I say this, I am reminiscent of something that Armin once said. Do you recall when they were searching the walls looking for Reiner and Bertolt, and Armin was thinking to himself, no, if we want to be able to defeat the Titans, we have to be able to think outside the box and think in ways in which we never would have thought. And then he gets the idea that they're inside the walls. That's why Armin is the one who needs the serum, because Armin is the one who can think outside those walls. He is the one who can think of things that no other living person in Attack on Titan, the universe of Attack on Titan, can imagine. And true, He doesn't have the experience yet to keep his cool under pressure because he gave his command up to John when he was under pressure. But he still has such an incredible mind that I think it would be a waste for humanity for Armin not to get the serum.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, if Erwin was a conscious and he was hearing me say all this, I think Erwin himself would also agree. He would say, "You're right. I'm pretty smart, but Arlette there is he's smarter than I am, so give it to him."
No, I have to completely agree with what you've said, and the way Armin thinks is completely different to the way others think in Attack on Titan. But I also have to think that Erwin does as well, coming up with like the long distance.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, it is really tough because you've basically got the two tacticians. You've got one who's pretty much in the prime of his life, prime of his ability. You're not going to get any more from Erwin. What you see is pretty much what you're going to get. Yeah. Whereas Armin, I do agree, he's got a lot more progression and a lot more to give, and eventually he could be Erwin.
Oh, he'll surpass Erwin if he was given the opportunity to live to the same age.
Because he is a tactician. That is his role. Not a frontline soldier, a tactician.
Having said that, we can't really afford, if we're putting ourselves in the moment they're in, they can't really afford to wait for Armin to grow up to become this master tactician. They need someone who's a genius who can stay cool under pressure now. And that man now is Erwin.
Yeah.
And I can understand why he'd want to do that.
And Armin hasn't really proved himself to the others. He seems like someone who's, got a lucky idea now and then, rather than a consistent plan of action for everything like Erwin has.
For sure. And I mean, without Erwin's ideas, a lot of, they wouldn't have been able to capture the beast type. I mean, without Armin's idea, they wouldn't have been able to capture Bertolt, but without Erwin's idea, they wouldn't have been able to capture Zeke. So it's like they're almost on equal footing, in my opinion, in terms of who is more important, who's less important. And not only that, their motivations. Erwin wants to see the basement. Armin wants to see the ocean. To me, both of these desires from both of these characters are equally important. I don't care if Mikasa ends up with Eren. I do care, but not that much. I don't care if Eren sees the outside. I do care, but not that much. But them too, I really want to see them achieve their goals. I want to see Erwin finally fulfill his dream of seeing the basement. And I want to see Armin finally get a glimpse over the vast ocean. I want to see that. And I'm not going to be able to from one of these characters, and it pisses me right off. If even one of them, it could be that they have a fight on the roof for the serum, it falls, and then it's even more tragic because nobody gets it.
When we said about sharing the serum, it seems like it's impossible to do that because there's only one Titan shifter.
Yeah.
So
oh yeah, exactly. So even if you could share the serum, they only have one. They only have access to one shifter to be able to eat anyway. So it's like whatever.
Yeah, if you had to put everything aside, emotional attachment, what you want, if you were betting, who would you bet on for the next chapter to be there? If you had to put your life savings on it or a lot of money on it, who would you pick and why?
Okay. So I have two answers for that, because your question was kind of split me down the middle, because you said in your question if I had to take my emotions out of it. If I had to take my emotions out of it and pick who I thought was the all-around better candidate for receiving the serum, my answer would be Erwin. Erwin would be the better candidate to receive the serum, become a Titan shifter, and then the story could progress from there. If I'm going to keep my emotions in it though, which I usually like doing because I'm emotionally invested in the characters and I want to see them succeed, and I'm emotionally invested in the series, I have to go just a 51-49 split. I have to go with Armin and say I want him to live on. I want him to see the ocean. Erwin, he's had his chance. He's had multiple foots in multiple graves. There's been so many times when you thought he's going to die.
Yep.
He's run his course. He's done. It's about time. And he would agree too, I think. He just needs to kind of lay it down and go, okay, I'm done. move out of the way for Armin, let Armin do it. Armin, I think, could put into practice better things to be able to, like, if they ate Bertolt, I think Armin would be able to use the intel they gained from the memories of Bertolt. He would be able to utilize them better than Erwin would. Also, if Armin knows he's a Titan shifter, it might give him a little bit more bravado, because he might think to himself, well, hold on, I'm not this weak little... The whole series has... His struggle has been, I'm not strong enough, I'm not strong enough.
And he's proven it now.
And now, well, yeah, now he's proven it. He doesn't even need to be a Titan anymore because he's proven it. If he were to become a Titan shifter, that would just kind of be icing on the cake. But it's like, have you ever seen Inuyasha?
No.
Okay, well, I'm thinking if I should even make this reference, because it'll be...
Do it if you want to, because then viewers who have seen it could also...
Yeah, so if you see Inuyasha, the final acts, but if you've also seen Inuyasha, like the actual series, Inuyasha's brother Sesshomaru, there's a sword that their brothers, and their father left the stronger sword to Inuyasha, and Sesshomaru spends the whole series trying to take the sword, and very early on in the series he gets his arm cut off by the sword. So it's like ironic justice, where he wanted it, but now it's the thing that's taken his arm. And so the whole series he's trying to get the sword, and then near the very end of the whole series he finally figures out, you know what, I'm better than you, Inuyasha. I'm better than our father. I'm better than that sword. I don't need that sword. I'm relying on my own strength. And then Deus Ex Machina, his arm regrows and a new, more powerful sword comes out of his body with his new arm. So it's kind of analogous to this, where Armin has thought he's been weak this whole time. He finally proves his mettle by standing up to the Colossus Titan, and then just as icing on the cake, just as Sesshomaru gets a new sword and a new arm, Armin gets a new Titan shifter ability. So I think it could work that way.
Yeah, I really like that analogy. Yeah. And I just love the way you're saying he wanted the sword. He got the sword.
Yeah, he got a better sword. And yeah, if anything, his sword was 10 times better than Inuyasha's sword. So if Armin got Titan shifter abilities, they'd be like... Now, if he got Titan shifter abilities... Actually, no, I'll ask that question in a minute. You go ahead.
I was just going to say that when you said get the sword, I meant he ironically got it in the wrong way.
Oh, yeah,
as in he got it chopping off his arm.
Exactly. Oh, you are clever, sir. Oh, I see what you did there.
But yeah, no, I think you're completely right with Armin. And when I said, like, if you had to put your bets on what you think the writers are going to do with it, and I've just thought of another thing they could possibly do, and that is it Hans? I always pronounce her name wrong.
Which one, Hannes?
Yeah, Hannes. If she comes over...
No, Hannes was the one who got... You mean Hanji, okay. Yeah,
Hanji, that's it. Always get confused with some of their names, you'll realise that.
Right.
But yeah, if Hanji comes over... Because she said, we better head over, don't chase them, we better head over to Eren's team. I think there's going to be a confrontation and she's going to make the decision. And I think she's going to decide to save Armin and say that's probably what Erwin wanted.
Yeah, that's true. They could all be kind of pressuring Levi. Actually, yeah, I can picture it in my head now. She gets there.
She gets a secret message from him from before, like a flashback of him, Erwin saying something like that.
Yeah. No, it could totally work like that. And they could all peer pressure him into it. He could be ambivalent to it. And then finally, Erwin might slightly flit into consciousness and say, you got to do it for him. You got to save Armin. And then he goes, okay, fine, I'll do it.
With a tear in his eye.
Yeah, exactly. If Levi's even capable of tears.
Oh, yeah.
But if it goes that way, there could be a chance to save both of them in the end. Because I think you'd agree that out of Erwin and Armin, the one who needs the serum more immediately is Armin.
Yeah, completely agree.
Because he's burnt to a charred little crisp, and he's I'd say he's closer to death than Erwin. Erwin, he's gonna die from his injuries, but you can kind of slow it down by trying to stop the bleeding. So they give Armin the the serum. He transforms into a shifter. And then they find in the basement, not only do they find more Titan serum in the basement, but they also find whatever it is that makes someone a shifter. Because shifters didn't just come out of nowhere. There had to have been some
serum or something.
Exactly, some kind of genesis for shifting. So what if that is also in the basement among other things, and they go, oh, now we can give it to Erwin, rush back to Erwin, give it to him too. So there could be a way to save both of them.
Yeah, and another way that you could get what you wanted. Joe, you wanted Armin to see the sea, and you wanted Erwin to see the basement.
Yeah.
If Erwin isn't that badly injured, they could like patch him up.
Oh,
sort
exactly.
of first aid, get him to the basement, and he could die happy.
Yes, so much yes. Okay, you've convinced me now. You mentioned that, and now this is what I want to happen.
That's what I want to happen now as well.
I want them. I can picture it in my head now. They drag him, not drag him, but they like have him over each other's shoulders.
Yes.
They're carrying him to the basement. They unlock the door. You see the door swing open, and the last panel is Erwin's face. He has like a little smile on his face, and then his head slumps over and he's dead. Perfect way to end the character. That would be amazing. Yeah. I would be so satisfied with that.
Or not just maybe not that soon ending him. Maybe he gets to see what's in there. But that could, I like the way you described that now. But if he got in there, because I don't know what's in there, so I don't know what he's going to see. He sees a few bits and he's like, oh, I could sort of die happy. Leave me in this basement.
Exactly. That's probably not what's going to happen.
No, not at all.
Just because, the writers are cruel people, and they're never going to give Aaron what he wants. But that would be I would love that. And some people might say, oh no, that's dumb, cop out. But I don't care. I want to see him see what's in the basement. So yeah, if it's a cop out, yeah, fine, it's a cop out. Sue me. Who cares?
Yeah, I love that. I really like that idea now. Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of who I'd want to see get it emotionally, and I can't take my emotions out of it because, I'm invested in everything that's going on. I wanted to see Armin get it. It just seems to me like it makes more sense from a story standpoint for Armin to get it. Like, we've already been getting so many hints at Erwin's demise that this is kind of just out of the blue for Armin, so it wouldn't make a lot of sense for his story to just be over like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I do really like what the writer's done here with the dilemma between the two. And
I think that that's literally all it is just a dilemma. Like, the writers already knew, oh, we're not going to save Erwin, we're going to save Armin. But they just wanted to add this in for drama because it makes for good drama, and it certainly does make for good drama, exactly. But ultimately, I'm hopeful that Armin gets it. And I'm just so happy that I can finally say to all my detractors, screw you, I was right, Armin lived, you were all wrong, kiss it, suck it, all that stuff. Because we were right and you were wrong, so go and cry in a corner somewhere.
Well, I've said to all my subscribers I cannot confirm nor deny that he is alive or dead. We will find out next month.
You can now, though. You can tell them. It is confirmed that he's alive.
Yeah, because obviously he wouldn't be able to take the serum, and they do state in the manga that he is breathing.
He is. He's alive. He is absolutely alive.
So
whether Armin dies now, I think I could live with him dying now more than I could have in Chapter 82, because at the end of Chapter 82, there was so much uncertainty to whether or not he really was 100% dead. But now that we know he wasn't really 100% dead, if he were to become 100% dead, I think I would be able to accept it a little better now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, now that he's been given an option. But
yeah, exactly.
Right, let's just talk about the outcomes. What do you think would happen with the Attack on Titan fan base if Erwin was the one who got saved?
Oh my god, we should start hashtags online. Hashtag Team Armin and hashtag Team Erwin. Honestly, because I know you've got a Twitter. Start that shit now. You be Team Erwin, I'll be Team Armin. Because me and just me.
No,
I thought. Well, no, I am.
Well, there's 8 other people.
I know only 46 people answered the poll, and the vast majority said Armin, but I do know there's people out there who are like, fuck Armin, I don't want Armin, I want Erwin. So, you know, you want it. Okay, I never asked you what your answer to this question was. Who do you want to get the serum?
Now, with all conversations, like our conversation has persuaded me both ways, and I can see the value in keeping Armand more so than what I did originally when I did my review, because honestly, apart from him being a main character, I can't see as much value in him, and I always think quite logically with who would be better for the story, and for me personally it would be Erwin's more valuable, but I like your idea of unique thinking, him getting to become Erwin eventually and becoming that role, you know, I'm talking a lot down the line, but have the role of head of the Survey Corps or something else.
Yeah.
But on a personal note, I love Erwin's character. Like I said, third favourite character. If he dies, he might become my first favourite character.
Yeah, right.
If he makes it, then maybe he'd go in to be my top character. But I really love him, and Armin for me hasn't done much in terms of getting me to like him. Maybe it's because, like we talked about before, his progression from being that whiny child to becoming braver like he did. And the only thing I admire him for is that last stand that he had against the Colossal Titan. I really do admire that.
Yeah, it was good.
And just to let you know, I'm putting hashtag Save Erwin on Twitter.
No, I did team art, like, you know.
Oh, you want me to put team? Hashtag team.
Yeah, like, you know, the whole Twilight thing where it was like Team Jacob, Team Edward. It's Team Armin, Team Erwin. That's what's going on. No, but I mean, I would be with you in Team Erwin all the way if it weren't Armin. If it were Erwin and another character, I'd be like, definitely Erwin for sure. But it's Armin, and I don't know. I've developed
You're invested.
I've developed kind of a sweet spot for Armin lately, and I guess I empathize with him a little more, and I guess I just relate to him a little more. So I want to see him live over Erwin.
Oh, someone's put on my tweet. I was going to say on my tweet. On my tweet, he's the definition of cool. So
who's the definition of cool? Armin? Yeah, I'm gonna respond to that.
No, Erwin.
No, he didn't specify. He just said he's the definition.
Well, it was in response to my tweet.
No.
While you're looking at that chapter, my final comment is just hashtag Team Erwin. Go on my Twitter, hashtag Team Erwin.
No, what the hell?
A sound
Team
argument.
Armin. Not Team Erwin. Team Erwin sucks. No, it doesn't suck. It's just not as good. If you want to know why you need to save Armin over Erwin, go to chapter 73 of the manga. It's somewhere around the end of the chapter when Armin and Aaron are talking because oh my god, I'm getting my words mixed up. Bottom of chapter 73. Aaron and Armin are talking because Armin says, Aaron, you're shaking, are you scared? And Aaron says, no, I'm not scared. And Armin's like, oh, I am, and he's shaking his little boots off. And Aaron goes like, you know, you're the one who convinced me to want to see outside the world in the first place. And he goes on to say like he was just some dumb little kid who always looked up in the sky and never thought of anything. But then Armin came with his book, and Aaron looks in Armin's eyes, and you get this one clip, this one shot close-up of Armin's eyes, and they're just so full of wonder and excitement at seeing the ocean. And that right there, look in those eyes and tell me that you want to say to that kid, no, screw you, I'm letting you die for a one-armed man.
No, screw you, I'm letting you die for a one-armed man.
I'm looking at his face right now. I will post an image of it on my Twitter. You can all see for yourself.
I'll make sure it's on the video.
Those eyes.
But no, you saying that, I'm just thinking, when you were talking about would you rather see Erwin see the basement or Armin see the sea, it's got to be the majority of people would rather Erwin see the basement, just mainly because we want to see the basement.
No, I know. I agree with that. I think if I had to... If someone had asked me like a couple of months ago, would you rather Armin see the ocean or Erwin see the basement? I would have said, oh, I'd rather Erwin see the basement. But now that I'm actually confronted with the option of one of them dying, I don't want Armin to die. So sorry, Erwin, I'm stabbing you in the back. I want Armin to live. You can go and die. If it means Armin lives, Erwin, go die.
Fair enough. But I was just thinking when you called him a one-armed man, he won't be if he gets the serum.
No, true enough, he won't be. And that at least will be a bonus for him, because then he won't have to be a one-armed man. But only time will tell whether or not one or both or none of them get the serum. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, just quickly talking about another topic that we didn't really touch on was Levi and Zeke and their relationship. And I really felt that sort of developed this chapter.
Did it?
Like, I felt that it confirmed... I'll let you say your bit in a second, but I thought it confirmed for me what I already thought about their relationship. And it wasn't just Zeke was caught off guard. It seemed like Zeke was afraid. And when he looked up at him and went... It was pretty much like, oh crap. How did this monster get this close? And when he says, that monster... I was just like... And him on top of the wall, towering above him, because it's normally the Titan's job to intimidate and be on top of them. And Levi was doing it to him. It was just the complete role reversal. It was amazing.
Did you see him up on the wall? He looked so scary.
It was so good. It was like, wow.
Scary. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. Zeke is quivering in his little boots over Levi. Like I'd say he is pretty scared of Levi now. I mean, he ran away. Their whole mission was to take away Aaron, and he ran away pretty much just because Levi caught up with him. So, yeah, I'd say it's not much of a rivalry though. It's pretty much just Zeke is scared of Levi. End of story. Like, you can't really say much else about that.
Yeah. Now that Zeke got away, like you predicted, he will get away and that rivalry will continue, and when he comes back he'll be more anxious than afraid, and he'll be ready to finally, and then Levi will be on the back foot for their next engagement.
Yeah.
I predict, like, normally with these sort of things in animes there's normally 3 engagements. The first one, well, it depends if it's against the main character, but if it's against other characters it's normally like a first one where, like in this case, Levi's got the upper hand, and then Zeke will have the upper hand in the next one, and then it'll be the final confrontation.
Yeah, maybe, something like that. I get the feeling that Zeke is like Kenny Ackerman. Remember in that chapter when it's a flashback of Kenny Ackerman's younger days, and he's like trying to kill Yuri Reese for the Titan power, and he's like a sniveling coward just because Yuri is more powerful than he is.
Yeah.
And he's not usually a sniveling coward, but because he came up against someone who is stronger than he is, he's like a little wuss. And I found that Zeke was kind of the same way. He's so used to being the one in power because he's the Beast Titan. But as soon as Levi gets the upper hand, he's like, okay, Levi, we'll call it a draw, even though it wasn't a draw. Levi kicked your ass, but whatever.
And I feel like the perfect analogy for what you're saying is, if you've ever seen Avatar, and I'm not talking about The Last Airbender, I'm talking about the Blue People one.
Right.
When he tries and tames that big dinosaur bird.
Yeah.
And he says that line about, since it's the biggest dog, he calls it, or like the biggest fish, it has no reason to look up.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's when it gets completely caught off guard.
Yeah. That is I haven't seen Avatar for a while, but that is a good analogy. I do enjoy that one. You're absolutely right in that respect. Because he wasn't expecting it, and then it just kind of jumped you and gets you.
Yep. All right, then I think we can leave it there.
Yeah. I think that was a good discussion.
I think I'd just ask people to put your questions about anything Attack on Titan related in the comments below, and then next time if we do something like this, we can answer your questions.
Yeah, sure. And anytime you want to talk again, I'm more than happy to oblige and have a little chat.
Yep, sounds good.
Cool. All right then, take care.
And bye. Or should I say, and have a great...
anime...
Afternoon.
There we go.
Should we work on that?
Yeah. We'll have a great...
anime... afternoon.
No, we're never gonna get it. Forget it.
We're gonna keep working on that.
And don't you put this in the bloopers and cut it so that I say something like I
like
boil
dead.
kittens alive or something. Oh, except I just said I boil kittens. No, I.